Okay, I'm allowed to skip one, right? So I'll just kick it off with a skip straight away. Yeah. And how many do I have to answer? 5? Okay, I've gotten myself into a pickle. My name is Ben, and today I'll be answering impossible questions submitted by researchers. The main paper which I'm here in the conference for is called Learning on Large Graphs Using Intersecting Communities. From first principles, we're showing a different paradigm for learning large graphs, which doesn't use message passing at all. Instead, we approximate a graph using intersecting communities, so you can build a neural network over them, and then it becomes much more efficient and nice. And this approximation is, we're theoretically proving that you can do this without considering the graph size. So the quality of the approximation is with respect to the number of communities you use. Okay, I'd like to shuffle them. Let's see. Do you believe in AGI? If not, why? If yes, how do you recognize it? What is your idea definition of AGI? Okay, I'm allowed to skip one, right? So I'll just kick it off with a skip straight away. Yeah. And how many do I have to answer? 5? Okay, I've gotten myself into a pickle. Okay, does the future of AI hinge more on better datasets or better architectures? If you could only improve one, which would have the great impact? Which one would have the great impact in your opinion? Okay, cool. I wouldn't skip this. This is a nice one. So I'm going to refer this with respect to my domain, which is graphs. And currently, I think there's a lot of nice architectures for graphs. And we're kind of lacking in the benchmarking front. So the datasets are quite limited and they're not really, let's say, the best. For example, there's a benchmark for large range datasets, and it's been shown that even models that don't take into consideration long interactions work well with it. So that could be improved. So that's what I would approach. Okay, that's one. If you could redesign one aspect of current AI architectures from scratch, what would it be and why? Oh, that's an interesting one. I do like attention, where everybody's kind of, interested in attention and transformers, and you've caught up really nicely. But I would explore different variation of it. It has been studied, but I feel like not deeply enough. So not necessarily using softmax, maybe using different mechanisms that are not necessarily averaging or weighted averages. How do you handle and debug failures in long-running experiments? Okay. How do I do that? With lots of patience, lots of caffeine, and lots of hope. I think that's how I would phrase this. I'll give it a real good shuffle. These are actually quite interesting as questions. Oh, that's a big one. That's a chunky one. Catastrophic forgetting is a major challenge in developing neural network capable of long-time learning. What breakthrough do you think is necessary to overcome this issue? It is kind of difficult to store infinitely, like increasing memory, so you do need to know how to summarize things well. I think it's kind of important to somewhat adopt what needs to be forgotten. I don't think you can store the infinite amount of memory that you have, but you need to kind of improve as to what to keep in store. I think that's the context of it. So not necessarily going for the whole cake. I guess trying to maybe go into fine-grained details of what's crucial to store and to keep in mind. How to better handle non-uniform grid data at scale to build generative models. So I don't do much generative models. I'm quite keen on the topic, but I would try to kind of have a more theoretical basis to these issues. For example, non-uniform grid data. I think, for example, some of the papers that I'm presenting today, they're more theoretical, and we're kind of approaching the problems from a theory perspective, showing how would optimal solutions be like, and then doing relaxation to make them practical in practice. So maybe that's how I would approach it. But then again, side disclaimer, I'm not a generative modeling guy, just curious about the topic.